Now, looking at 2's complement, one of the questions that you're given asks you to convert this number 1011.1000. Alright? Now, the way that and it says in the question, you only need to use 2's complement with floating point. This is fixed, so we're going to look at fixed point first. Alright? If we run out of time today, we'll continue at the start of the next lesson, so don't worry. So we've got fixed point binary there. What it means by fixed point is basically that decimal point does not move to the left or right. Okay? Now, the way that the values work, this side is your full number, this side is your fractional part. So that's your fractional part, and that is your whole number, if you like. Alright? Now, the first thing you do to work out fixed point is you look at this value here. Alright, so step one for me would be to look at that value, and I know that that is 1, 2, 4, 8. Alright? Notice it says you only need to use 2's complement with floating point. This isn't floating point. Alright? So, 2's complement doesn't apply here. So what's this number going to be here? That is 11, yeah. Alright? The way that the fractional parts work here, alright, is you've got 0.5, then 0.25. What comes after 0.25? 0.125. Then what comes after that? 0.625. Alright? Now, I think I've written that down. Yeah. So, what you then do, alright, with the fractional part, is you multiply it by 2. I'm not sure if you were shown that method before. Alright? There's a method where you multiply it by 2 until it becomes 1. Alright? So it might help you to understand it a bit further. So I know that's 11. Alright? But what is... Alright? So I know that what I've got here is... I'm just going to convert that. So that is... I'm going to multiply that by 2, which gives me 1, so I know that that's when I stop. So that's just 0.5. Alright? Sorry, I've got ahead of myself. The multiplying is on the next question. Alright, so sorry about that. So I know that when I look at the values there, it's pretty easy to work that out. So you should have had 11.5 there. Now if I go on to the next question, it's slightly more complicated because it's asking you to get from 7.5, and it wants a 4-bit for each bit, alright? Now what I do is I work out what this bit is first. What's 7 in binary? Well, I've got 4 bits, so it's 0, 1, 1, 1. The multiplication will make more sense here, alright? Because I've got to get 0.5, alright? What I meant by getting that number is if I've got, say, 0.25, imagine if this number was 0.25, I would have 0.25 times 2. What does it give you? 0.5, alright? What's 0.5 times 2? What's 1? So I'd end up with 0 because you're only multiplying the decimal bit. Alright? If I had 0.3, let me just show you 0.125. I'm just showing you how to work out the fractional bit. Alright? If it was that times by 2, what do we end up with? 0.25. Alright? So 0.25. Now, if I do the 0.25 times 2, what do I end up with? 0.5. If I do 0.5 times 2, I end up with the 1. If I do that, I've got no decimal left, so it would be 0 times 2 equals 0. So therefore, that would be 0, 0, 1, 0. Can you see how that works? If you've got to work out the fractional bit. So I had 7.5 here. So I had 0.5 times 2, which gave me a 1. But then, alright, I multiplied the fractional bit again, which gives me a 0. I'm hoping the penny's dropping a little bit. This is when you've got, so let's look at, let me do this again, alright? I'm going to do another question here, alright? Let's go for 6.25, alright? And I want it in 4 bits fixed both sides, one for the fraction, one for the whole number. I work out what 6 is. 6 would be, what's 6 in binary? 0, 1, 1, 0. Alright? Now I need to get the fractional bit. Alright? 0.25 times 2 equals 0.5. Alright? So we've ended up with a 0. Alright? 0.5 times 2 equals 1.0. So we use the 1. Alright? If it's a whole number, it ends as a 1. Then we've got 1.0. Sorry, then we've got 0 times 2, because you multiply the fractional bit each time, you end up with 0. So what you should end up with there, making sense how I got that, and you can check your answer because you can go half, quarter, and we know that that is a quarter. So that's how you do fixed point. Yes?
Can't you just remember which column what and then just like put it in straight?
So what happens when you get a very, very long number?
Well, like a long decimal?
This is simple. This is 4, alright? But in your exam, what happens if you get 8 and you're going all the way back here?
Wait, you can get them?
Yes. Alright?
It might be quite useful.
Yeah, that's why I'm showing you the multiplication method, alright? So, they're not always simple 4. Sometimes you can get longer numbers, alright? So hopefully that helps with fixed point and understanding it.